A beloved royal fairy tale unravels as alleged connections to dark secrets emerge, leading to devastating consequences and shocking revelations. What if everything you thought you knew about a modern royal love story was built on lies? 3 secrets are about to come to light. First, alleged connections that link a duchess to one of history's most dangerous men. Second, claims from someone who was there, who saw things, who knows names. And third, a billionaire's decision that could end everything. But here's what nobody's talking about yet.
President Trump also announced a new trade deal with the UK that will reopen British markets for American companies. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these 2.
More dangerous than anybody there. She's just underrated and plays a dumb ginger card. I don't know what I'm doing. But Fergie, you better watch out for Fergie. I mean, Sarah was...
Finally, NT confirms big bombshells that we all kind of knew. Meghan yachting ways, Meghan's client.
You've watched the interviews. You've seen the tears. You've heard the accusations of racism and cruelty. But what if the real story was hiding in plain sight all along? Let's go back to the beginning, back when the world fell in love. An American actress, a British prince, a wedding watched by millions. It felt like a fairy tale come true. Everyone believed it. But some people didn't believe it. Some people had questions, quiet questions, questions nobody wanted to ask out loud.
It's all about telling us that she's authentic and telling us that she's a Dodgers fan and telling us that she organically shows up.
Why did she need to tell us so much? Why did every interview feel rehearsed? Why did every story sound just a little too perfect? The thing is, when someone works that hard to convince you of something, you have to wonder, what are they trying so hard to hide? And now, according to sources close to Ghislaine Maxwell, we might finally have our answer. But it's not the answer anyone expected. What did Maxwell allegedly tell investigators about Meghan's past? Jeffrey Epstein. That name changes everything.
Jeffrey Epstein, we know that he was a very, very clever man, and he didn't like to show himself a lot. In fact, there are very far and few pictures taken of him.
This was a man who knew how to stay hidden. A man who collected secrets. A man who allegedly used those secrets to control powerful people. And, according to recent reports, Ghislaine Maxwell has made claims. Claims about connections. Claims about people in high places. Claims about a yacht in Thailand in 2002.
Connection. She even placed Meghan at that yacht in Thailand in 2002, but said that it's too bad that there's no pictures of it, and then you posted a blind item about...
Now, let's be very clear. These are allegations. Claims made by someone facing serious charges. But the timing is interesting. The details are interesting. And the people allegedly involved? That's what makes this story impossible to ignore. Why would Maxwell allegedly make these specific claims now? Thailand, 2002. A yacht. Wealthy men. Young women. This is where the story allegedly begins, according to Maxwell's reported statements. But here's the problem. There are no pictures, no proof, no evidence that anyone can show publicly.
For a reason. You see a lot of pictures of people. He used to take pictures of people in his yacht, but he didn't get any pictures of himself. It was always getting pictures of other people.
Epstein allegedly documented everything. Everything except himself. That's how smart he was. That's how he allegedly operated. So if Meghan was there, as Maxwell allegedly claims, why can't anyone prove it? Is it because it never happened? Or is it because someone made very sure those pictures would never see the light of day?
Extreme links between Meghan and Epstein. And there's a particular girl that Meghan Markle was on a yacht with. That was
One girl, one alleged witness, one person who supposedly knows the truth. But can we trust any of this? Should we trust any of this? Who is this alleged witness, and why hasn't she come forward publicly? Sarah Ferguson, Fergie, the Duchess of York. She's been in the background of this story all along.
The way she speaks about Fergie and Eugenie and Beatrice, it's because they were around for a long time together.
Around for a long time. Together. That phrase sticks with you, doesn't it? According to investigative reports, Fergie was allegedly called as a potential witness. A witness to what, exactly? That's the question nobody seems to want to answer.
No stretch of the imagination. I think it's that he's a dirty old perv weasel. But I do believe he's just as much of an idiot as Prince Harry is. And Sarah Ferguson is that Fergie woman is as cunning and as deviant and as skanky as Meghan Markle. Okay? She just was lucky that when she was doing all her skankiness, the internet was not around.
Strong words, harsh words. But here's what's interesting. Fergie has her own history, her own scandals, her own alleged connections to questionable people and questionable money.
For large amounts of cash, selling access to Andrew, who was the trade ambassador. He was the trade ambassador to the United Kingdom, and the records have been sealed.
Sealed records, missing evidence, stories that don't quite add up. Sound familiar? What did Fergie allegedly know about Meghan before the wedding? Let's talk about what Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly said, because the details matter here. She allegedly didn't just mention Meghan once. She allegedly mentioned her multiple times. She allegedly placed her at specific locations with specific people at specific times.
Compromising situations, and once they were there, that's how he got around. This is the kind of individual this man was. That's how he got around. So many have said,
compromising situations. That's the key phrase. That's allegedly how Epstein operated. That's allegedly how he controlled people, through pictures, through evidence, through fear. Now, again, these are unproven allegations from someone with their own legal troubles. But here's what investigators are reportedly looking into: connections between Epstein's inner circle and certain celebrities, actresses, models, women who later went on to marry into powerful families.
To knowing him and borrowing him money. And yet, try hard as I might, I haven't been able to find a public, listen to what I'm saying, a public
evidence. That's what's missing. That's what everyone wants. But maybe that's exactly the point. Maybe the lack of public evidence is evidence itself. What would happen if those pictures actually exist? Now we need to talk about Jeff Bezos, because this is where the story takes a different turn. Bezos is one of the richest men in the world. He doesn't make moves without reason. He doesn't cut ties without cause. And according to recent reports, he's allegedly distancing himself from Harry and Meghan. Why? What changed? What did he hear? What did he learn? Sources close to the situation claim Bezos was considering a major deal, a major investment, something that could have changed everything for the Sussexes. But then, allegedly, something happened. Something made him pause. Something made him reconsider. Was it the Maxwell allegations? Was it something else? Was it advice from his team, his lawyers, his business partners?
The fact that that was a post paid with taxpayers' money. What does this picture have to do with this? We know that there were tweets.
Tweets, pictures, connections. When you're as wealthy as Bezos, you can't afford to be associated with scandal. You can't afford to have your name linked to controversy, especially not this kind of controversy. Is this the beginning of the end for the Sussexes' Hollywood dreams? Here's something most people don't know. There's allegedly a group of people who saw everything, who were there, who know the truth.
And that is the man himself, Jeffrey. She was his last girlfriend. Okay? Now, she's from Romania.
His last girlfriend from Romania. Why does that matter? Because allegedly, she's talking. She's allegedly sharing information, sharing names, sharing stories that line up with Maxwell's claims. And it's not just her. According to investigative sources, there are others, staff members, assistants, people who worked on yachts, people who booked travel, people who saw guests lists and know who was where and when.
Of Jeffrey and Sarah, in spite of the fact that I am sure they have taken pictures with themselves all along. There's very few, because these people know how to cover their tracks. Make no mistake.
Make no mistake. These people know how to hide things. They know how to erase evidence. They know how to make problems disappear. But sometimes, no matter how careful you are, the truth finds a way out. What happens when too many people know the same secret? This is where everything changes. This is the part of the story that nobody saw coming.
Your own knowing, rather than just like anchor to the truth and the reality that we all live in. Instead, Meghan's like, no, whatever it is that you're thinking and you're believing and you're selling and your version.
Anchor into your own knowing. That phrase, that strange, confusing phrase, Meghan once used. Some people think it was just word salad, just meaningless corporate speak. But others think it was something else, something revealing.
Live now. Like Meghan has tied herself inextricably imaginary world and an alternate reality through her lies and her fabrications. Ever since she fixed her sights on wooing Harry, she's been wrapped up in her own farce.
A farce, an alternate reality, a version of events that exists only in her mind. That's what critics are saying now. That's what the allegations suggest. Because here's the thing. When you build your entire life on a story, you have to protect that story, no matter what. Even if the truth is trying to come out. even if people are starting to ask questions, even if your past is catching up with you.
And Netflix to manipulate her way into contracts and deals, selling concepts that she had no ability to deliver on. All this while having to stand by all the lies that she told.
This is allegedly what Maxwell's claims threaten. The entire story, the entire narrative, everything Meghan has built could come crashing down if any of this is proven true. How much of the fairy tale was real and how much was carefully constructed fiction. When scandal hits, powerful people disappear. They cancel meetings, they don't return calls, they suddenly have other priorities. And that's allegedly what's happening now. According to sources, major players in Hollywood are quietly distancing themselves. Deals are falling through. Projects are being shelved. Invitations are being withdrawn. Jeff Bezos allegedly pulling his support is just the beginning. Other billionaires are reportedly watching closely. Other companies are allegedly reconsidering their associations. Because in Hollywood, reputation is everything. And right now, the Sussexes' reputation is allegedly in free fall.
Developing a track record of philanthropy work that wasn't actually philanthropy at all. Selling a version of herself to Harold that made him think that she would be just like Catherine. Then Meghan's victim narratives.
The victim narrative worked for a while. It got sympathy. It got support. It got contracts worth millions. But victim narratives have a shelf life. Eventually, people start asking questions. Eventually, people want proof. Eventually, people want the truth. And when the truth allegedly involves Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and a yacht in Thailand, that's when everything changes. Can the Sussexes survive this, or is it already too late? Here's what we know for certain. These allegations exist. Maxwell allegedly made these claims. Investigators are allegedly looking into connections, and powerful people are allegedly backing away.
She told to Harry she has to stand by, and that's, a lot of people have theorized ever since she didn't invite any family members except Doria to the wedding, is that Meghan has sold Harry
a story, sold the world a story, and now, allegedly, that story is starting to unravel. Here's the hardest truth. We may never know everything. We may never see the pictures. We may never hear from all the witnesses. Some secrets stay buried. Some questions never get answered. But what we're watching right now is the consequence of those secrets. The billionaires walking away, the deals falling through, the fairy tale ending not with happily ever after, but with silence and distance and doors closing.
Being told what to think. Nobody likes being told how to view somebody. We like to decide that for ourselves. But at the time I was talking about how, Catherine, Princess of Wales, is the one who shows us and doesn't tell us, and Meghan is the one who tells us and doesn't show us. So Meghan.
And that's exactly right. We get to decide for ourselves. We get to look at the evidence. We get to listen to the claims. We get to watch what happens next. Is this a smear campaign designed to destroy someone who dared to challenge the royal family? Or is this the truth finally catching up to someone who built their entire life on lies? The answer might be somewhere in between, or it might be something none of us have considered yet. So here's what I want to know. Is this a coordinated smear campaign against someone who challenged the establishment? Or is this the truth, finally breaking through years of carefully constructed lies? Comment below. Tell me what you think, smear campaign or buried truth? And if you want to see more deep investigations into the stories Hollywood doesn't want you to know, hit that subscribe button and check out the playlist in the description, because the truth always finds a way out. Always.